Hello, welcome back to another speed build with Frimlin. And if you don't know me, I am Frimlin, and I'm from New Zealand originally, but I live in Europe. And yeah, I love The Sims 4, and I love this exterior made by Stephanie from Simarchy. Let me just say, Stephanie from Simarchy, sweetest woman on the planet. She's just so lovely to me. She's always been very friendly, and I've watched her streams, I've watched loads of her speed builds, and absolutely lovely woman. And also, one thing of note, of particular note for Stephanie, is that she's just so productive. Every time I have a look at her channel and see all the videos she's done when I've done maybe one or two, I'm like, whoa, Stephanie. I keep saying it to her. I'm always saying to her, wow, you have done so much. I'm just so impressed. And this exterior, it's small, but there's something about it, isn't there? It's just really lovely. It's got this kind of... Well, it's using the Jungle Adventure stuff, or a lot of the Jungle Adventure stuff, but it isn't really like a jungle build, really, is it? But I don't know, I just kind of took the cue of her using so much Jungle Adventure stuff to build it, that I used quite a bit of that as well when I was furnishing it. And yeah, I'm really pleased with how it turned out. But I've got to say, I was really scared because I think she did such a lovely job with this exterior, and I felt like I've got to do a super good job to fill it up with furniture. And yeah, we had a little chat about it, and she said that if I wanted to, I could do a bit of exterior design as well, like I could do a bit of gardening, that kind of stuff. So I have done a bit of that near the end, but I didn't do too much. I did add a couple of these kind of, I don't know how you would describe them, these kind of window things. You can see just above the painting here. And I just basically followed her lead and filled this wall with them. You'll see a bit later on. But otherwise I left it pretty much as she left it. So I hope she's okay with that. It's kind of... sad, but she gave me like weeks. We talked about it. She was like, yeah, we could do a collab and we'll do it, I don't know, months from now or something like that. I was like, yeah, cool, that's lots of time, excellent. So I was like, yeah, sit back, do my own thing, continue as normal with my channel. And then people who know me know that recently I've been doing a bit more job searching, and I don't know, I just kind of, the date for this collaboration kind of slipped by, and then just in the last minute I was like, uh-oh, I've got to finish this place. So here I am, finishing this place. In the end I had to ask Stephanie if she would just delay her video just a couple of hours so I could just finish it off. It was that close. I'm sorry, Stephanie. I hope I didn't annoy you. But yeah, thank you so much for giving me a bit more time. I just had to focus on other things in my life. I've had so much time to focus on my channel that, you know, there are other parts of my life like income that need to be sorted out. So yeah, that kind of distracted me recently. And it's likely to keep distracting me for a little while. I'm kind of back in the job searching mood, and yeah, seems to be going well so far. It's way too early to say. There's a few kind of job applications in process. I had some companies contact me as well, which is lovely. And yeah, hopefully everything will work out. But in the games industry, it can take many weeks, sometimes months, for job applications to actually come to something. So everyone's asking me, you know, what's happening, Frimlin? How's it going? And I'm like, it's way too early to say, but I promise I will tell you what's happening as soon as I've got something, you know, to share. But that time is not now. So yeah, basically, if you do not already watch my stuff, if you don't already watch my speed builds, I mean, I like building with just a few packs, and I called it restricted pack building. Some people call it base game plus, but yeah, I call it restricted packs. And what I did in this case is, because Stephanie already did the exterior, I basically used the same packs that she already used, and I'm thankful she used only about 6 packs or so. Usually I use, I don't know, the base game plus 2 packs, maybe 1 or 3, sometimes 4, but never very much more than that. And I know that some people use like dozens of packs, and there are dozens of packs now. We've got a massive amount of selection of different packs for the game if you know, if we've got the interest in buying them. Which is great, you know, if you have got the money to go out and buy lots of packs, that's great. But I still like making restricted pack builds, because I know that not a lot of people have all the packs. So, you know, it doesn't mean that you're going to have all the packs for the stuff that I am using. But hopefully you will have some packs of some of my builds. Anyhow, let's move along from that. Kind of boring talking about that. So yeah, nice big balcony here, and I did try and stick some get-together kind of group activities out there, but in the end I settled for a painting easel, because I thought surely you're going to have some nice view that you can stand out there on your balcony and do some painting. And yeah, so as you can see, I am sticking some more of those windows inside. You know, it's the interior, it's my domain now, I can do that. It's okay. Also, I just try to make the whole stairwell a lot lighter. There's some funny lighting things that happens in stairwells in Sims 4. The lighting doesn't really get in there very well. Oh, this little kind of plant thing I'm doing now, I was just playing about. I just thought that the wall was just way too boring. I thought about sticking the painting there. In the end, I thought I'd go with this kind of grass in a pot thing, hanging wall plant thingy. But later on I actually take it out. So yeah, adding a bit more green to the master bedroom. And now moving on to the kids' bedroom. Basically, Stephanie and I kind of agreed ages ago that we would do a relatively small house, because I knew that I can sometimes find it hard to do a big build at the moment. I knew that I had job search coming up, so I just didn't want to overcommit myself, so we kept it quite small, and we discussed about having like single parent with a child. Of course you could have a couple in that master bedroom. You can add another bed in here somewhere, I'm sure, and have more kids if you want. But I just stuck to one parent and one child. And if you don't usually watch me, you won't know, but I like using items that I haven't used before. I've never used that wallpaper before at all. And not even just like, usually it's like I haven't used a certain colour variant of something. But in this case I haven't used that wallpaper at all. But in this room I just felt it kind of worked. I guess because the room already had like a yellow kind of tone to it. I kind of was inspired to continue with that yellowness. Something like that. So another thing about me as a builder is that I don't usually use move objects cheat, but just recently I've been kind of trying to talk myself into using it. So you've already seen me use it a bit in this build. I used it on the dresser in the master bedroom, but I'm also using it again now to add a bit of clutter to the desk here in the kids' room. And so yeah, I didn't use move objects cheat for a long time, and mostly it's because I wanted my builds to be easily placed from the gallery. I was a very gallery focused builder before I had my YouTube channel, and so I just didn't use that cheat. I used other cheats, but I didn't use move objects cheat because sometimes you have to enable it to be able to place a building properly. And I just wanted my builds to be click and place. I didn't want any kind of confusion. I know that a lot of players aren't as familiar with some of us are with the cheats. So I wanted it to be just click and place your build, and that's pretty much what I've always done with my builds. But I've been talking myself out of it. I've been like, just chill, Frimlin, it'll be cool. Just start using the cheat and have a bit more freedom. Just be free with your creativity or something like that. People who watch me regularly know that I'm quite, how would you say, fussy with how I do things. And I kind of place lots of restrictions on myself. And I think that's because when I started in the games industry, I was a game designer. And I mostly made kind of game content. So you have to follow the guidelines of what's expected for that game content to work. You can't just do whatever. So I have always followed kind of strict guidelines of what I'm allowed to do, and I think that just followed on when I started building. At least that's what I think is the explanation. Maybe it's not, I don't know. Maybe I'm just, I don't know, overly fussy. Probably I am. So I haven't done a build for ages actually, and the last builds I did were with the release of My First Pet stuff pack. Okay, that was only a couple of weeks ago, but it just feels like, I don't know, years ago for me. For some reason, I don't know. So yeah, and also because I was in a bit of a rush with this build. My editing of this speed build isn't as good as I would usually do, so please forgive me. I usually take out a lot of stuff to kind of make it smoother. So yeah, and the camera is moving around a lot. Some of the builds I've been doing, I have been trying to not move the camera at all. I know, crazy, huh? But I was trying to make it easier for some of my viewers who have like motion sickness issues. But yeah, I haven't done that with this build and some other previous builds as well, because sometimes I'm just in a bit of a rush. And you know, speed builds actually take quite a lot of editing. Well, you know, well-edited speed builds take a lot of editing. So yeah, sorry to jump around here as well. I mean, I start in the kitchen, then I kind of jump up and do a couple of other things. That's because I did a few, what I would call mistakes with my builds, so I came back and then I removed that when I was editing the video. But yeah, you see most of the stuff that remains. I have this whole entire floor downstairs. It's kind of like, I was tempted to make it a completely open plan kitchen lounge type thing, but in the end I decided to make the kitchen a separate room, as you'll see, and I was really trying to get a match between the counters that came with Jungle Adventure and the sink that came with Jungle Adventure, but for some reason I couldn't get a good match. I don't know if it's just me, if I was having some kind of builder's block or something. In the end I gave up on it, and that's about the time when I decided to do a separate kitchen. And I didn't use that sink in the end, and I didn't use the Jungle Adventure counters, I don't think. No, I didn't. So yeah, I didn't make everything open plan downstairs in the end. But I like what I did in the end, so I hope you do too. Yeah, my regular viewers know that I have a hard time kind of patting myself on the back and saying things like, oh, I did a good job. But so if it kind of irks you to hear me say that, like it irks me to hear me say that, I'm sorry, first of all, but I'm actually trying to give myself some compliments every now and then, because I'm actually really hard on myself and it can really get me down. So I have to learn to, you know, be nicer to myself, basically. I know it sounds funny, but it's true. I mean, if you're always hard on yourself, after a while it can really get to you. Trust me. Trust me, it can. So yeah, at this point I haven't given up on the open plan idea, but oops, there goes the walls. Yeah, this is where I'd given up on it. but still open plan outside that, but yeah, then the room isn't as big as it was, but oh well. The oven and the fridge here are from Jungle Adventure, and I like them very much actually. I will probably use them a lot more. But the counters and the cupboards are base game, and I believe these counters and cupboards were given extra colour options a few patches ago by Maxis, so that's really nice. Thanks, Maxis. And yeah, I use a bit more Move Objects cheat in the kitchen as well, just to put a bit of clutter in. But I think that's the last that I will use Move Objects cheat for this house. Although perhaps I did use it in the garden as well at the end. So yeah, actually, funny thing is, this is my second ever collaboration. I've not done hardly any. Mostly the problem is that I have said I've had people ask me if I will do a collab, and I'm like, yeah, especially if I really like the person. I've said yeah. So I mean, I hope some of those people that I said yeah, I'll do a collab are listening now. Hey, I like you very much. Please don't think that just because we haven't done the collab yet doesn't mean I don't like you anymore. You know, it's like I feel really bad, but yeah, basically I'm a very free spirit, and sometimes when I've agreed to do something like this, it can kind of stress me out. I was very lucky that my first collab was with Belguru, who some of you will know. Very chilled, friendly person, so like Stephanie from Simarchy. So that's why I think these collabs have worked out. But yeah, I would love to do more collabs, but you know, to be honest, it hasn't worked out. I tend to just do my own thing, and it's you know, no insult to anyone else. And I probably will do some more collabs, but I'm in no rush. I don't, you know, it's not that I don't like working with people, it's just, I don't know, I just like doing my own thing. Yeah, there I go, that's me. We will have to accept each other, right? That's what I'm like. But yeah, I'm really pleased that I got this opportunity to do this collaboration with Stephanie from Simarchy. Like I said, she's a really friendly and a super productive person, and she's also done so many helpful videos and tutorials on her channel. I have had lots of ideas to do helpful videos, you know, and tutorials, but I haven't actually done any. In particular, I want to do some videos for the MC Command Center mod that some of you will use, because I know that it's very fiddly, and I know the mod very well. I used to be like a helper on the support team, but I was mostly inactive because I was just doing my own thing, like usual. But yeah, I would like to do some tutorial videos for that, but I haven't, and so you've got to give Stephanie her due. She took the time and she sat down and she did those tutorials, so good on you, Stephanie. Once again, very productive, puts the rest of us to shame, but in a very lovely way, you know. So yeah, here I am in the, is it the lounge, when it's like a big open plan room? It's the rest of the house. Here I am in the rest of the house, and I'm doing a little lounge area, a little seated area to watch the TV. And yeah, then I quickly skip upstairs. I extended the floor out off camera actually to cover the kitchen below, and so it gave me a little kind of extra space, and so I decided to stick a couple of chairs and a table there. Once again, trying to use some of the Jungle Adventure stuff. And I think it looks pretty good. What do you think? But yeah, you can never have enough seating in a house, and also surfaces. Sims need surfaces to place things on, because otherwise what you have is you have a sim on one side of a house and they have like a plate or a cup, and they go in, put it down somewhere, and there's no surfaces nearby, so they walk all the way through the house before they finally find a surface. and that can be a bit frustrating. So I like to have surfaces around the place, you know, free surfaces without clutter on them. But in saying that, I don't think I did in this house. I think I pretty much covered most surfaces with something. If you want to use that table, you're probably going to have to remove those candles. This was something I always used to look at other builders and think, why did they put that on the table? It's going to make it unusable. That's my kind of game designer in me kind of saying, don't do things like that because the player won't be able to use it. But actually, people generally know how to remove small things from surfaces. So if you want to use the table, as I assume you do, you can remove those candles and you should be able to place plates and stuff like that. Actually, it might work as it is now. I haven't actually had the time to playtest it, and I usually playtest all my builds. I will playtest this one before I upload it, but yeah, the focus right now is to get this video out. So here it is, here's the video, it's out, yay. Hopefully now the house is up for download as well. And yeah, I think if I had been in a little less rush, which again is my own fault, if I'd been in a little less rush, I would have put a few more interesting items down here for Sims to interact with, especially because we're using the get together expansion pack. There's a few group activities I could have put in here, but I didn't. Oh well. Yeah, I just didn't want to muck Stephanie around too much by saying, hey, can you hang on a bit longer while I'm still making the video. But yeah, I think what I finished with in the end looks okay. So yeah, tell me what you think in the comments, because I don't want it to all be about what I think. And yeah, just checking from the evening and night to see what the lighting is like outside. And so I added a couple of lights, then it was too bright, so I took a couple away. And now I'm adding some garden at the front. I actually like the minimalism of this place, but I just wanted to add a little bit more in the form of lots of jungle adventure grass, and a few other plants pop up as well. I like adding a bit of terrain paint around the outsides of buildings just to make it look, I don't know, I say a little bit more realistic, but I don't know if you'd actually leave dirt around your house. And I've got this urge now to go in there and remove some of that. But Frimlin, just have to walk away from the build now. You've done your bit, you're making the video, you need to move on. But yeah, I will do a bit of playtesting and I might tidy it up a bit more as well. So yeah, showcase and screenshots are coming up. I usually do quite a bit of a video tour in my builds. Like I said, I'm in a little bit of a rush with this build, so no massive amount of video tours at the end here, but there is a lot of screenshots. And hey, I'm really pleased that you stopped by and checked out my channel. Or of course, if you're a regular, thanks for coming back. Hope you enjoyed the showcase, and I'll see you on the other side. So there you go. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And thanks again to Stephanie from Simarchy. I really appreciated the opportunity to do this collaboration. I hope you like what I've done with your beautiful house.